It wasn't the best coffee in San Francisco, but it was the fastest. Cinderbean Cafe sat wedged between a boarded-up bookstore and a Pilates studio that nobody ever seemed to enter. There was no Wi-Fi, no trendy latte art, no exposed brick walls or playlists curated by someone named Fern. What it did have was chaos. Beautiful, blistering, caffeinated chaos. And one barista who made the whole thing function like a finely tuned machine under enemy fire. Amelia, 22. Eyes like she hadn't slept since Tuesday. Fingers so quick they blurred when she typed. If you were a regular, you knew the rule. Get your card ready, say your order clearly, and move. Amelia didn't wait. If you hesitated, she moved on. If you fumbled, she adjusted. She was the heartbeat of the place, and everyone knew it. Not the owner. Not the manager who always seemed to disappear during the morning rush. Amelia. She was like an algorithm written in caffeine and sarcasm. Her record? 7 drinks in 90 seconds. All correct. All delivered without a single wasted word. Her regulars, tech bros, sleepy nurses, philosophy majors from the college 3 blocks down, respected her like she was a street racer who just happened to work an espresso machine. No one asked about her life, because no one ever got the chance. What they didn't see was that she was living 2 lives. When her shift ended, Amelia would clock out, wipe coffee grounds off her jeans, and head straight to her night classes at San Francisco State. She was halfway through a mechanical engineering degree, the kind of path that made her family proud but her bank account cry. Her rent? Overdue by 5 days. Her car? A 2006 Civic with 3 warning lights and a muffler that sounded like it was giving its last confession. Every shift meant rent, textbooks, groceries, or if she was lucky, enough to fix the radiator that coughed like a dying dragon every time she started it. She shared a studio the size of a closet with a girl who sold handmade jewelry on Etsy and insisted on burning sage at 3 a.m. Amelia didn't complain. She didn't have time to. Every hour was accounted for. Every dollar mentally divided the second it touched her hands. She did her calculus homework during bathroom breaks. She typed lab reports on her phone in the back alley behind the cafe, crouched on a milk crate next to the trash bin. She wasn't bitter. She was too tired for bitterness. But she was sharp, scary sharp. She had a whiteboard at home covered in equations she didn't need to know yet, just in case they came up in future semesters. She studied machines the way other people studied Instagram. How things moved. How they broke. How to make them better. And that was the thing about Amelia. She didn't ask for much. She didn't cry about the grind. But deep down, though she'd never admit it, she was waiting. For a moment. A shift in the wind. Something to make it all feel less like survival and more like progress. She didn't know it yet, but that moment was coming. And it would start, like all her days did, with the hiss of a milk steamer and the tick of the clock. Only this time, the customer at the counter wouldn't just ask for coffee. He'd change everything. The city was unusually warm that morning, the kind of golden haze that makes even concrete feel alive. San Francisco buzzed beneath the early sun, delivery trucks clogging side streets, dogs yanking on leashes, distant construction hammering like a heartbeat in the fog. Elon Musk walked without urgency, hands in his pockets, half listening to his friend babble about something forgettable. For once, he wasn't late for anything. No press briefings, no shareholders, no SpaceX explosions to explain. Just him, the city, and the odd freedom of a rare day off. They had been walking for a while, moving like tourists through neighborhoods Elon had long since stopped paying attention to. His friend, a venture capitalist with opinions and no mute button, was mid-rant about vertical farming when the scent hit them. Sharp, bitter, toasted, caffeine, coffee. Elon stopped in front of the smallest cafe either of them had seen all morning. Cinderbean. It looked like a laundromat that got halfway through a renovation and gave up. The windows fogged slightly from steam. A flickering neon sign blinked open with the energy of a dying light bulb. There was a line out the door, but it moved like a conveyor belt. Let's try it, Elon said. You want coffee here? His friend raised a brow. This place looks like it runs on anxiety and expired oat milk. Exactly, Elon replied, already stepping into line. Inside, the line moved like magic. 3 people ordered. 2 walked away with drinks before the next customer finished speaking. It was unnatural. Suspicious, even. Elon glanced behind the counter and caught sight of her. Amelia. Head down, all motion. No hesitation. She took an order while steaming milk, prepped 2 lattes, and cleaned a portafilter one-handed while punching numbers into the register with the other. She didn't smile. She didn't need to. She was focused like a laser and moved like she was in the middle of a timed chess match. The line shrank before he could even appreciate it. His turn came so fast it felt like being launched. 1 black coffee, 2 drip, he said, glancing at the options. Nothing fancy. She nodded. Already working. That'll be $6.40. And that's when it happened. Elon patted his pockets. Front. Back. Hoodie. Nothing. His friend checked his coat. Same. It hit them like a failed rocket test. They'd left everything in the car. No wallets. No phones. Just 2 well-dressed idiots standing in front of the most efficient barista in the state with exactly $0.00. Elon started. Amelia didn't look up. She already had the 2 coffees placed neatly on the counter. Next, she called out flatly, turning to the next customer before Elon could finish whatever apology he was about to mumble. He and his friend stepped aside, holding the warm cups with a sheepish air. The transaction was over. They hadn't paid. And no one seemed to care. Elon blinked. Did she just let us slide? His friend stared at the cup like it was radioactive. You think she knew who you were? Elon shook his head slowly, watching Amelia shoot an espresso and steam milk simultaneously without blinking. Nope, and that made it worse. He sipped the coffee. It was hot. Simple. Perfect. I think, he muttered. We just got gifted a coffee by the fastest woman in San Francisco. 2 days passed, but Elon couldn't shake it. It wasn't the coffee, though it had been oddly excellent. It was the barista. The way she moved, the way she didn't hesitate. The way she handed over 2 coffees like it was just another line in a long day, even though they hadn't paid. No fuss. No eye roll. Just next. There was something rare about that kind of speed wrapped in silence. Something disciplined. He had built rockets that took less focus than that girl had when she frothed milk and crushed orders like a machine. It was Thursday now. Just after 10. He looked it up. This was the quietest time at Cinderbean Cafe. Most customers came early in the chaos of weekday mornings. But Thursday mid-morning? That was the dead zone. The kind of stillness where birdsong replaced chatter, and the espresso machine wasn't constantly screaming in the background. It was the only time someone like him could walk in without being recognized or trampled. So he went back. No entourage. No friend. Just Elon, his hoodie, and a faint hope she might remember him. The bell above the door gave a lazy ring as he stepped inside. The place was nearly empty. One man in the back scrolling through a cracked iPad. A woman hunched over a laptop near the window. And behind the counter, Amelia. Same pinned-up hair. Same surgical precision. She looked up as he approached, hands already reaching for a cup. Wallaby? She asked, not recognizing him. Elon blinked. You don't remember me? She tilted her head slightly, expression neutral. I get over 1,000 faces a day. Sorry. He smiled, a little caught off guard. He wasn't used to people forgetting him. I came in 2 days ago. With a friend. We, didn't have our wallets. You gave us the coffees anyway. Amelia paused for half a second. Then, with a single blink and a slight nod, 1 black coffee. 2 drips. Total was $6.40. Elon laughed under his breath. That's the one. She crossed her arms, still holding the cup. You didn't pay. I know, he said, his voice more serious now. I came to fix that. And for the first time in days, Amelia actually looked at him. Amelia stood behind the counter, arms crossed, waiting for Elon to say what he came to say. She didn't look impressed. She rarely did. He reached into his pocket, pulled out his wallet, and placed a $10 bill on the counter. For the coffee, he said. She nodded once, starting to turn away. But then he placed a second item on the counter. A thin envelope. Inside, she'd later find out, was 5 crisp $1,000 bills. And under that, a sleek black business card. For a second, she didn't react. Just blinked, slow. Then she looked at the envelope. Then the card. Then him. You're joking. No, Elon said, quietly. That's your tip. For the coffee. And the calm. And the speed. She picked up the envelope, opened it slightly, and froze. Her entire monthly rent, 5 times over, was sitting between her fingers. This is too much, she said. He shrugged. I've tipped more for worse. She didn't laugh. Seriously. I can't take this. You can, he said. You earned it. That morning, you had 20 people breathing down your neck. You moved faster than some robots I've built. And you didn't even blink when we forgot to pay. You just did your job. No attitude. No ego. Just execution. That's rare. Amelia stood there, her fingers still half clutching the envelope. She didn't move. She was trying to read him, maybe trying to figure out if this was some prank. But then she looked down at the card. Elon Musk, CEO. SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink. Phone number. Private contact address. Palo Alto. She frowned. What's this? He nodded toward the card. That's the second reason I came back. I want you to work for me. She didn't blink, but her posture changed slightly. A shift in weight. The kind of movement people make when they're trying to ground themselves. I run companies where execution matters, Elon said. Where seconds matter. Where people crack under pressure or get lost in theory. You're not like that. You don't freeze. You move. You solve. I make coffee, she said flatly. You optimize flow under extreme load, he corrected. I've seen engineers who couldn't handle a tenth of what you did that morning. And I want that kind of brain in my system. She stared at the card again. Then at him. You don't even know if I'm qualified. You're studying mechanical engineering, he said. Her eyes narrowed. How do you know that? I asked your manager yesterday. She looked down. She didn't know what to say. 1,000 questions jammed up behind her lips. But Elon just reached for the card and tapped it. If you want something more than this place, he said, call that number. Ask for me directly. He turned to leave. And behind him, Amelia stood motionless. One hand holding $5,000, the other holding a card that might change everything. The next morning, Amelia didn't go to Cinderbean. She held the business card in her hand the entire train ride to Palo Alto, reading the numbers over and over, as if they might disappear. She had barely slept. Part of her thought she should have just taken the tip, said thank you, and kept her head down like always. But another part, the part that had kept her grinding through impossible shifts, blown gaskets, and differential equations, told her this wasn't random. This was one of those moments. So she showed up. Security buzzed her in. A black glass building, minimalist to the point of eerie, stood waiting. Inside, everything moved differently. Smooth. Quiet. Like the hum of a high-voltage wire. No customers. No rush. Just engineers, coders, techs, people who looked like they'd been awake for 3 days building something no one understood yet. And then he appeared. Elon Musk walked out of a side hallway like this was the most normal thing in the world. Same hoodie, same calm, same deliberate pace. You came, he said, not surprised. You said to call, she replied. I just showed up instead. I like that. No assistants. No PR. Just Elon and Amelia, walking side by side down one of the longest corridors she'd ever seen. Every 10 feet there was something, prototypes, robotic arms, battery walls, screens filled with math that looked like it had been ripped out of a sci-fi novel. He explained as they walked. You'd be part of a pilot team. Workflow design. System efficiency. Real-time diagnostics for bottleneck resolution. He looked at her. You already do all that. But in a cafe. Amelia kept looking forward, absorbing everything. Are you serious? I watched you handle 60 customers in under an hour without breaking a sweat. That's load balancing. That's systems logic. I don't need another engineer with a 4.0 and no pressure tolerance. I need people who can execute under fire. They stopped in a small glass office. Minimalist. One desk. A screen. A view. This would be yours, he said simply. If you want it. She turned. What's the catch? No catch. You'd start under a development lead. 90-day performance window. If you meet expectations, you stay. If not, you leave. She waited. And the pay? $5,000 a month, Elon replied. Full benefits. No coffee orders. Just real work. Amelia stood there, hands in her coat pockets, silent. She thought about the rent, the car, the double shifts. She thought about every 30-second latte sprint she'd ever survived. And then she nodded. That was it. No speech. No music. No sudden applause. Just the sound of a quiet office. And a life that had just taken a hard left turn.